Move over, number 12, fade in, 123 exterior country highway, night. Grace is driving her sports car full speed down an old country highway. It is night and she has the top down and her hair is blowing in the wind. We see by her dress that it is cold outside. She is dressed in a sweater, a jacket with fur collar, and a scarf. We see her take a number of turns rather fast. The camera sees her from various points of view with quick cuts to show she is speeding up, very determined. She is a good driver and rounds the corners gracefully. She passes a broken down car jacked up with one wheel off. She turns her head slightly as she blasts by the parked car. Shortly, we see Luke walking on the side of the highway. As Grace sees Luke, he presses on the brakes and we see the brake lights come on. The engine winds down and the car stops a few yards back ahead of Luke. Luke is dressed in a warm overcoat. When he sees the car stop, he dashes ahead to meet it.
Hey, thanks for stopping.
That you broke down back there?
Yeah, it is. I had a flat and my spare was bad.
It's pretty cold out tonight.
I'll say. Mind if I get in?
That's why I stopped.
You're not worried I might be a serial killer or something?
Grace looks carefully at Luke for a beat or two. Luke looks back at her with hopefulness.
You don't look like a serial killer to me.
Thank you, ma'am. I was beginning to freeze my ass off.
Luke closes the door and the car zooms off immediately. Scene 124, internal convertible, night. Luke huddles down as the cold wind races past him. He looks over at Grace, who stares straight ahead with the pedal to the metal. He takes a cigarette out of his shirt pocket and sticks it in his lips. Grace looks at him and shakes her head as he prepares to light it. He sees her and tosses the cigarette up, and the wind takes it.
Why do you have the top down?
Scene 125, exterior country highway, night. Suddenly, we see the car brake and come to a fairly fast stop. The engine idles loudly. The car stops in front of a rural cemetery.
You want the top put up?
It's cold as hell out here, lady.
I've got the heat on full blast.
Yeah, you do, but aren't you cold?
Do you want the top up?
Sure, that'd be nice. If you don't mind.
All you had to do was ask.
Okay, I'm asking.
Grace hits the bottom and the top comes up.
I guess you're going to want the windows up too.
It's pretty cold. I got chilly walking.
Are you going to be requiring anything else?
No, I really appreciate you picking me up.
We see the car speed up and zoom down the highway as the windows go up. Scene 126, internal convertible, night. Luke looks around the dash while Grace concentrates on driving. There is a silence for a bit, except for the road noise and the sound of the engine.
This is like a small airplane in here.
How do you know I'm not a serial killer?
No, I don't think so. A girl like you, driving a fast car like this? All your beautiful hair blowing in the wind? No, I don't think you're a serial killer.
You sure?
I'm more likely to be a serial killer than you. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not a serial killer.
I would not have picked you up if I thought you were.
How would you know a thing like that? You can't tell by looking. Nobody knew Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer or that prostitute killer Robert Lee Yates. Nobody ever suspected Henry Lee Lucas, and he confessed to 600 murders.
You sure know a lot about serial killers. Maybe you are a serial killer.
I've seen some on TV shows, that's all. I can assure you, I'm not a serial killer. No siree. I don't even like the sight of blood.
How do we know you don't close your eyes before you kill your victims?
Not much chance of that. I don't kill people. I'm all about the love.
You're a lover then?
That I am.
Any particular species?
Species?
Dogs, cats? What do you love most?
I'm a people person. I love people. That's why I'm in sales.
You're a salesman then?
Yeah? So I don't fit the profile? Now if I was a mailman or something, or a high school principal, then maybe I'd qualify to be a serial killer. Nope. Not me.
How do I know you're not just saying that?
Well, I guess that's right. If I was a serial killer, the last thing I would do is tell the potential victim that I'd killed before.
Unless that is part of your MO.
Luke reaches over and attempts to startle Grace by grabbing her shoulder and growling.
What are you doing?
I could be a serial killer.
You could also be walking. You do that again and you will be on the side of the road.
Hey, it was a joke. Sorry.
You do stuff like that and bad karma is going to get you.
Karma? No such thing. People just blame karma when they do stupid things.
Obviously, you don't have any idea what karma really is.
Why don't you explain it to me?
Why don't I not? Why don't I just stop this car and put you back where I found you?
Look, I'm sorry.
Just be more considerate.
Okay. I told you I was cold. Must have affected my brain. You know, brain freeze.
Luke puts his hand up to the heater. There is a brief silence as Grace negotiates a turn.
That heater sure works.
Told you.
Think we could turn it down a little? Something's smelling.
Nope, it's stuck on high.
That's why you had the top down?
That's the reason.
Grace unbuttons her coat and wiggles her way out of it. Luke watches intently. Grace notices him looking.
Where are you headed?
That's not what you're thinking.
What?
Don't lie to me because I've been lied to before and I'll know. What are you really thinking?
I just want to know where you're going. The next town? Further?
You looked at me like that and that's what you'd like to know?
Well, if you put it that way, I was wondering if you were married.
What difference does that make?
Just conversation.
You married?
Yeah.
So why do you care if I'm married?
Hey, it's no big deal.
Do you like my body?
What?
What do you think of my body?
Hey, you're a very pretty girl.
You're wondering if they're real, aren't you?
No, I never even thought about it.
Don't lie. I know what men think. You're a man and the first thing you want to know is if they're real.
No, I didn't even think that. I just want to know where you're going.
What does that matter to you? You're getting a ride. You don't have to walk.
Sure, that's cool. That's all I want.
I bet you wouldn't turn down a feel if the opportunity presented itself.
Probably not if you put it that way.
There's no opportunity here, so get that out of your mind.
Hey, it's never in my mind.
It's in every man's mind.
Scene 127, exterior convenience store, night. We see the convertible slowly, rapidly pull into a convenience store parking lot. Grace parks at the gas pump. The facility is lit up, but there are no other cars except one driven by the night clerk. Grace gets out of her car abruptly.
Put $10 in. I'll pay the cashier.
Okay.
Grace walks directly to the washroom. Scene 128, internal washroom, night. Grace comes into the small bathroom and locks the door. The washroom is pretty dirty. Grace looks into the smudged mirror and notices a couple of red spots on her face. She looks carefully and then washes them away. We see the red tinge as it goes into the porcelain sink. Scene 129, exterior convenience store, night. Luke is putting away the gas pump nozzle as Grace comes out of the washroom and heads toward the inside of the convenience store.
I put in $10 worth.
Grace does not answer him, but she goes inside the store. From Luke's point of view, we see Grace pay the clerk. Luke thumbs the car. He is cold but stands outside. He sniffs and rubs his nose as though he is smelling something bad. Finally, Grace comes out of the store and heads over to the car. Luke gets inside the car as he sees that Grace is coming toward the car. Scene 130, internal convertible, night. Grace gets in as Luke watches her.
Something smells bad out there.
Yeah, I hit a deer and he splattered all up under the car.
Ew. Disgusting.
You don't smell it much when we're driving.
When'd you hit it?
It didn't stink at first.
I guess not.
Scene 131, external open highway, night. Grace pulls out into the highway and hits the accelerator. The tires squeal a little as the engine whines. Scene 132, internal convertible, night. Luke is holding tightly to the rumble bar in front of him.
You sure like to drive fast.
This scare you?
No.
How about this? You like driving in the dark?
Wait a minute. You don't have to prove anything to me. Put the lights back on. Put them on.
You were scared, weren't you?
Lady, you're something else.
So you do like my body?
I didn't say that, but I think I could get used to it. You're pretty hot.
Why don't you move over here a little closer?
What? This car has bucket seats.
You can lean toward me, can't you?
A little, I guess.
Luke glances into the back seat for the first time and sees some men's clothing and some shoes.
You know I won't bite.
What's all that? What's all this in the back seat?
Maybe I'm a serial killer.
You sure have a pretty face, and I guess I would like to cop a feel. Maybe a kiss?
Suddenly, Grace takes the knife from the driver's side door pocket and slits Luke's throat as he leans in toward her. We see a totally stunned look on his face as the blood runs down his throat. He dies quickly. The body slowly stumps. As it does, he grabs the clothing from the back seat and clutches it as he goes down and toward the front. We see that there is a dead man in the back seat.
You two are just alike. All men are the same. There's only one thing on their mind, and they can't get that off their mind long enough to recognize a woman serial killer.
133 exterior country highway night. We see Grace's car zoom off down the highway with a roar.
Thank you. I think that one might be my favorite story.
I tell you, that was mine.
That
was mine. That was mine. That was what I was saying when I was like, yeah, I remember this one. That's my favorite one, dude.
That was my favorite one.
That motherfucker. I'm married.
All right.
He got in trouble. He got in trouble for being dumb.
What's the last one?
So, Katusha, what'd you think of that one?
Yeah.
I love that story. You know, I like it. I love the powerful female psycho killer.
If I ever need a ride, I'm sleeping in my truck that night.
She's a psycho.
Yeah, I'm not going with
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
I just love that the roles are reversed.
I'm not getting in the car.
I love it.
I don't care how hot you are. I'm not getting in. No, I'm cool.
I'm suave. Fuck you.
I'm waiting
Okay,
for the next girl that's wearing weight station. I'm waiting for her to.
Okay, so. Weight station.